For this video, the contents that I will be presenting will be very much similar to the PDF document where I will talk about each of the 6 Scrum artifacts. The Scrum output or product that I decided here are to create Scrum artifacts, apply backend programming to a website, and to create presentation videos. Now, for the artifacts, firstly, for the product backlog, where I would create user stories for the product I am to create. The nouns that I used were as a student, since I am working with the backend programming of a website. Another noun that I used would be as a user, pertaining to the future users of the website. Then again, I measured the user stories value based on the importance of it to the sprint by value points. Some user stories that have high value points are also again colored with a green shade in the table to indicate its importance. Now, for the next artifact, the sprint backlog, I just used the user stories from the product backlog and evaluated them again and came up with some tasks and listed them down in the sprint backlog so that I could satisfy the user story. The values from the sprint backlog is related to the original user story to identify which I should prioritize. Now, for the next artifact, the sprint planning, which contains all the things that I have to do for this sprint, I just used the tasks from the sprint backlog and queued them up accordingly and arranged them according to which I'll do first. I then added a task precedence column, which is a super straightforward way for me to be guided on which tasks that I have to do. Now, for the next artifact, which is the daily scrum, I just listed down the tasks based from the preceding scrum artifacts and used it every day as a checklist and tracker for which task that I'll have to do first. As of recording this video, the only tasks that I'll have to do left are 2 more tasks. Now for the next artifact, which is the sprint review, I just listed down the products or outputs that I have declared and identified earlier and just did a very simple and straightforward review where I just reviewed that the product was successfully submitted, finished, or created. Then, for the next and last artifact, I just asked these 3 main questions to have a retrospection on what I did during this sprint. The first one was what went well in the sprint, and then next, a question about what could be improved, and then next about what will I commit to improve in the next sprint. And that would be all for my Scrum presentation for Sprint 3.